Hello, I'm Mary Alfonso, Public Affairs Manager for the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department. Welcome to Putting Rate Increases into Perspective, a brief explanation of why our water rates are going up and what we and our customers are doing about it. This presentation and accompanying guidebook are intended for elected officials, administrators, and concerned citizens. Water sales in the DWSD system have declined 26% since 2003. This has been the biggest cause of rising rates. As manufacturing and auto companies closed plants, water use plummeted. Since 2003, Southeast Michigan has lost nearly 400,000 jobs, and the population has declined by 300,000. At the same time, unemployed workers left the area, lowering residential water use. 15 of Michigan's 20 largest cities lost population in the 2010 United States Census. So it's no surprise that average daily water sales have dropped from a peak in 2003 of 540 million gallons a day to 400 million gallons a day in 2011. This summer was the hottest in Michigan in 50 years. But even with this summer's heat, DWSD barely pumped 1 billion gallons on July 21, 2011, our maximum day. In 2007, we pumped 1 billion gallons on 40 different days. Some of our suburban customers have been hit very hard with water sales declines. Even affluent communities like Rochester Hills, Troy, and Shelby Township have not been spared. The fact that water rates increase when sales go down may seem backwards. However, about 50% of the cost of running a major utility are fixed. With gross revenue of $285 million in fiscal year 2010, this meant we paid bondholders about $158 million. Water and sewer utilities are capital intensive, that is, fixed cost businesses, because of their infrastructure investment and maintenance load. We can't lower our fixed costs by shutting down a water plant 3 days a week, or closing off water mains, or refusing to pay principal and interest on our debts. Our fixed cost burden means we have to raise rates approximately 4% for every 5% reduction in water sales. We know that our community customers also face fixed cost challenges. They have distribution systems that must be maintained and debts that have to be repaid. Like us, they have implemented efficiency programs, cut staff, and have had to raise rates to compensate for declining revenues. DWSD's infrastructure is massive and aging, much of it exceeding an estimated useful life of 60 years. Our system contains 5 treatment plants, 3 raw water intakes, 22 booster pumping stations, 34 reservoirs, 770 miles of transmission main, and 2,600 miles of distribution main. We finance capital improvements to this infrastructure with 30-year bonds, so costs are covered over multiple years rather than through rates in a single year. Looking down the road to final payoff of our existing debt through 2040, our entire financial obligation will total $4.1 billion in principal and interest payments. DWSD is striving to reduce the impact of declining sales. We have reduced staff by almost 1/3 since 2002 through attrition. This measure has actually decreased labor costs by 4% since 2005, and overall operating costs have not increased for the past 10 years. We are an energy-intensive business due to the amount of pumping required to move water across the region. Electrical usage cost DWSD $29 million in 2010, or about 18% of its water production cost. That's why we are constantly working with DTE Energy to limit our electrical usage costs. While our sales have declined, we still provide water at one of the lowest rates in the country. A water system that never increased expenses or rates would not have the money to maintain and upgrade its infrastructure or build improvements to meet federal regulations. For example, it would not be able to replace the deteriorated water main that was installed at $1 per foot in 1950, but costs $40 to $100 a foot to replace today. DWSD is taking a hard look at the future. Much of this rethinking appears in the Capital Improvement Plan, or CIP. In July 2011, the DWSD Board of Water Commissioners approved a $556 million CIP through 2016. This is $1.2 billion less than 2003 projections in the 50-year Water Master Plan. Our regional water supply is for all of us, the City of Detroit, the suburban communities, and the counties. What's good for Oakland County should be what's good for the City of Detroit, Macomb County, and Wayne County. The bottom line is that we cannot prevent rate increases, but we can work together to deliver the high-quality, affordable water that you expect and deserve. Thank you for your patience, and please contact our Public Affairs Office at 313-964-9477 for additional information.